Perfect. We are live. Hi there, and thank you for coming. Today, I just wanted to show you a quick overview of how I use Lovable, Sheets, and Make.com in order to create these micro SaaS solutions. So, what is Lovable? Lovable is essentially just a platform where you communicate with AI, and AI codes for you based on human language. So you can see my first message over here. It's very human-like written. Sorry, and Lovable is able to understand that and make a SaaS solution for it. So I will say before we start, Lovable is not perfect yet, at least. You have to go a bit back and forth with it sometimes, but of course it depends on how good you are at prompting. So this is a prompt, and if you're good at communicating with AI, you get better results, of course. I will also mention that Lovable is free to a certain extent. You can send up to 5 messages per day, and after that it costs money. I'm on a paid version, but you can get get very far with 5 credits a day, I will say, actually. But there is other platforms like Cursor, and I think Replit as well. And yeah, there's a lot of platforms. But if you're just starting out, I recommend to start with Lovable because it's very user friendly. And you can also publish any of your projects to your own domain over here. I'm not sure if you need a paid version for that, but you can do that as well. So here I have an SMS platform, and it's just a concept at the moment. This is just a testing environment. It's not the same dashboard as I showed in my LinkedIn post, but it's the same concept of receiving data, sending data. So this is what we call a front end, and then we have the database, and the database is very simple sheet over here. It doesn't have to be fancy. You can also use like good databases, but this was I just wanted to keep it very simple. So the sheet over here defines the conversation. So we have the message ID over here, which define which conversation we have. Like we have, for example, an ID here that matches this one, this one, this one, and this one. So it's able to see these IDs even though it's not in the same order. And I did that on purpose to test the system. Lovable is able to read them and understand, okay, we have so many conversations going on here. And then we have the phone number, and the phone number is, the phone number. I think it makes perfectly sense. And then we have the customer name, and I would, if I had to make some adjustments, I would definitely just call it name because it's not only customers, but I don't want to use credits on that at the moment. Then we have email address, and we have messages, and we have type. So this is defining, okay, is this a message coming in or out? And I've told Lovable how I want that in colors as well, and you can see, so it looks like a real conversation here. And we have the date and the time log, which defines with which order these messages are supposed to come in. But yeah, this is hard coded, and what I mean by that is I have just inputted these out. Sorry, I put in these all these results manually. I just put them in with my keyboard. But normally you would have to make this dynamic as well, of course. So you had to use Make.com, which I will show you later on in this video. You would use Make.com in order to send the data into the sheet. So this will automatically fill out. And I will show you a quick demo of how you can do that. So yeah, if we go back to Lovable, you can see that I've, as I mentioned, I just told it how I wanted the SaaS platform to be, and tried to define the headers of the sheet, and I put in the sheet here, and that's actually the most important part. So if we go back here to the sheet, you can go into File, you can go into Share, Publish to Web, and use this URL here. And this URL, if you press this button down here, it will automatically update the sheet columns with this URL here. I hope that makes sense. So it actually works as a database. So yeah, I just put that in there, and I had to go a bit back and forth, but as I told you, if you're very good at prompting, sometimes you will get it right first time. But of course, it comes with a learning curve, so you have to do it a couple of times to become good at prompting, in my opinion. But you can see I tried it a couple of times here. And that made this platform over here, as you can see it. And it's actually functioning, at least when I send data the other way around, which I'm about to show you now. And also, if I update the sheet here with some fake data, it will come into this platform as well. So that's how you receive data into Lovable. But how do you send data? You can do that by something called a webhook, and you can see that I've used a webhook here. So I just texted Lovable again that I want to send data into this URL, which is a webhook URL. And then I told it how I wanted it outputted as well here. So if we go into make.com, you can see I have a scenario here. So make.com is basically an automation platform, and you can automate a lot of stuff with this. I will not go into the details with it, but you can do a lot of stuff with it. And this is also for free to a certain extent. You can use up to 1,000 operations. And yeah, I think that would be enough for this one automation here. But I recommend, if you want to make a lot of automations, that you pay for at least the core version of it. So we have the receive data webhook here, and you can see the URL again, and that's the URL that I sent into Lovable here. So I told it to send the data over here and put it like this JSON string. So let's test it out and see what happens here. So if I were to text myself here, I'll say, "Hi there, hope you have a great day." I'll press send here. So what it's doing now is it's sending the data over to make.com, and we haven't received anything yet because this scenario isn't live. So I have to press runs and use existing data. Normally you would just have to wait and it will work out automatically if you have it open for a live version here. So anyways, you can see the message came in. It says, "Hi Marcus." Oh, okay. So right now it actually thinks it needs to respond for my message. So that's something that I had to tweak into Lovable. But again, now you can see that it's not working perfectly every time, and that's why you have to do some adjustments sometimes. So what it's essentially doing at the moment is, when I text this message here, it responds in AI and put that response into here. But I will not fix that in this video. It's not very important for me. I will just show you how this works. So what's happening now is it's sending this data. It's looking into a database here and seeing if it can find the number. It's looking up the number and see if it can find it over in the sheet here, which is the database for this automation. And then it's sending a message to that number. So let's see if I actually receive something here. We can see I did actually. I'm not sure if you can see it on this little screen here over here, but you can see I did actually. Sorry. Yeah, but you can see I did actually receive a message. I hope you could see it. It was very small. I'm sorry. But here it's looking up in the database again, and it's looking for the name. And if it doesn't have a name, it will just output nothing here, but it will say hi and nothing, So hi, thank you for your message, we'll get back to you shortly. And then what's happening is that it's updating the database. So it's sending the data into the database, and you can see that here, and it's actually putting it as an outbound and the date as well and all that stuff. And normally you wouldn't hard code that into like, for example, the message ID and the number, but this is a testing environment, so it's just to showcase you what's possible with this. So if we go back to Lovable, you can actually, if you update this, you can see that it's actually put this data into Lovable as well here. So now you can get an understanding of how you can use webhooks and you can use Sheet in order to make a whole environment that works for you. So if you were able to make an automation that put all this data into the Sheet, you will receive it into Lovable, and you will be able to respond back from Lovable using make.com. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that created some ideas in your head, because this is just a quick overview, as I mentioned, but the whole idea of this is to showcase you what's possible with AI and automations. And yeah, you can do a lot more than this. You can also put in an AI module here and make it respond in an AI message. So it will be very much more customized. But yeah, that's it for this video.